NeRF. Said to be one of the most popular toys back in the days, I can't believe I'm still playing with NeRF now, but with a slightly scarier twist. Neural radiance fields, or what I'd like to call it NeRF, was one of the first AI research that focuses on using 2D images and their camera poses to reconstruct a volumetric radiance and density field that is visualized with ray marching. Now, just imagine the math behind this. Ain't no way. This proposal of basically reconstructing a series of images or a video back into a 3D scene has led to a new wave of research papers dedicated to NeRF that started nearly 2 years ago. And about 3 weeks ago, something extraordinary just came out. Remember how it's just flattering how amazing Plenoxel or even ADOP is not long ago? Well, something happened during that period of time between this video and last video, and of course, it's NVIDIA once again out here destroying competitions in the computer graphics field. What's so impressive about this research is that where previous research requires around 30 hours of training time to generate the scene, they claim NGP takes, no, not 30 minutes, but 30 seconds in generating the exact scenery. Let's just take a minute and give this an applause. Not one reduction in the time unit, but 2. Well, is that 30 seconds rendering time totally true though? And what about the quality of the generations? Well, today we are going to find out. Well, note that Instant-NGP is not solely designed just for NeRF, but today we are gonna be focusing on its NeRF capability. And after hours long of brain damaging sessions to try to figure out the version compatibilities, I was able to finally get NGP runnable on my Windows computer with a custom image set. Installation tutorial down in the description. So this gave me the chance to test my own dataset on the AI, but due to some crazy hardware demands from the AI, for all my results it will be rendered with dynamic rendering in order to achieve smoothness. It will basically downscale the rendering based on how my hardware performs. For reference, this is without dynamic rendering and this is with dynamic rendering. And yes, when I say hardware demanding, even my 3090 struggles rendering 2K image sets and crashes with 4K image sets before even loading up the GUI. But in return, NGP is actually a different breed. Just watch this. No speed up whatsoever. This is the AI running in real time, training and rendering 3D scene. How absurd is that? Ignoring the camera pose estimation part before the training, this speed feels a bit illegal when you bring older research into the picture. Let's take ADOP as a comparison, as it's one of the most prominent NeRF AI right now other than NGP, and to also let you conclude the big question of which one is better. Be aware that results from ADOP ignore the weird point cloud texture, so it may look slightly better, but if you look closely, you can see weird patches around missing textures. But even with these patches, ADOP's official demo does show a much cleaner result than NGP. Well, first of all, I ran NGP in dynamic rendering when I move around, or else I can't move. And secondly, I can't pre-render, or like I don't know how to. And to pre-render a perfect route so it'll look crisp. But you have to keep in mind that there's a great chance ADOP's result outperforms in quality because of result cherry picking, and without actually running it myself, I can't prove or disprove the result quality. And since ADOP only supports Linux, I can only cry in Windows. On the other hand, ADOP was pretty shy about their training time. They did not specify how long exactly the training times are. The only numerical value I could find is this 12 hours training time for a scene in a section talking about optimization. But with that number in hand, I don't think anything would come close to the speed of NGP. It's just too impressive to render something out under 30 seconds while training, and the overall structure looks legitimate. While not necessarily always 30 seconds, it can be higher or lower, depends on how the quality comes out and how the losses are, but it just usually stops getting better at around 30 seconds. Also, if you look closely at these buildings surrounding the object, by moving to a slightly different angle, you will not be able to see the buildings anymore. This is basically the essence of ray marching, as there is not enough information to display at that angle towards you or the rendering camera. What that basically means is that the AI cannot generate anything in that angle because they had no information about that single angle in the dataset. This may be the reason why meshing a scenery could be extremely difficult. As you can see here with their built-in mesh generator, they really outdone themselves here with this GUI, by the way. Blocks of them really just stick out of nowhere. Surfaces that you expect to be flat are not really generated correctly. So I tested it with a toy truck where the object reconstructed is isolated, which should make the mesh generation much more accurate. But after some adjustments, the best I could do that will retain the overall structure is like this. Since the basic structure of the toy truck is not connected, I tried to inflate it to connect them so it looks kind of puffy. And yeah, overall NGP is really an impressive feat, especially considering the training aspect. Just think about it, 300 images generating something like this under 30 seconds? This is just revolutionary technology in the making. And with the speed of NeRF research, I believe that we would master this technique in no time. So hop on the train and we are going to the moon. Thank you guys for watching. A big shout out to Andrew, Panther Modern, and many others that support me through Patreon or YouTube. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.